We have a new Star Wars trilogy coming out, according to Lucasfilm, and it's another turd in the toilet. We're going to get into what the news is and what it means for the trash heap that is Lucasfilm. Welcome, everybody, to the Sundowners Club. Star Wars has had failure after failure after failure since Rogue One and The Force Awakens, so it's been years now that we've seen continued mismanagement by Kathleen Kennedy of Lucasfilm, but she hadn't been fired yet, so we don't know if she has video of what happened on Epstein Island or what dirt she has on anybody, but for whatever reason, she's still there, and we've had news after news after news come out of Star Wars movies and projects on the heels of failure after failure of TV series, starting with the Obi-Wan series, and then we had Ahsoka, and we had Book of Boba Fett, and we had Acolyte, and we have Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, and we have projects that have never come to fruition. And now we have news coming out today that Simon Kinberg, that amazing writer that brought us Dark Phoenix and X-Men The Last Stand, is writing a new Star Wars trilogy and going to be producing it. And Sterling, does this get you excited? The latest news from Lucasfilm that Simon Kinberg is writing a new Star Wars trilogy?
No, but I mean, I don't think there'd be anything that they could do to get me excited, really, with the way they're going.
Firing Kathy Kennedy would get people excited. Maybe.
That'd give me hope. But I mean, again, I've given up on Star Wars a long time ago. I think you still have a slight glimmer of hope, not much, but
not much.
Yeah,
I won't be watching Skeleton Crew. Of course, it's a kids show. I don't think it's going to be anything that offends anybody or causes waves. I just don't think people are going to care. It's a kids show coming out in December. And then you have Andor Season 2. A photo came out today of Cassian Andor on the set. Looks like he's wearing a leather trench coat, a leather vest, and flybacks for hair. It looks like he's going to the mall at Van Nuys or something. I don't know about Andor Season 2, but let's talk about this. Is yet another announcement, which I don't know why they still make these damn announcements, knowing they're going to get trolled. People are going to make fun of them. Let's talk about all the movies that have been in development the last several years from Lucasfilm. Let's start with Mandalorian Grogu. So they're filming that supposedly right now. You feeling like that one's going to actually come to fruition and come out in 2026?
I think that has the best chance of actually getting released. If
Me
I
too.
look at the list they have there, but just the sheer amount of crap they have on there. They have no plan, no organization. They're just throwing a bunch of stuff against the wall, hoping something sticks. But yeah, I mean, I think that probably has the best shot of being made, at least.
And we'll skip over the Simon Kinberg trilogy for now. We're going to come back to it and talk about what we're hearing it may be about. We have the Sean Levy movie that they just talked about 2 months ago on the heels of the success of Deadpool and Wolverine. Sean Levy instrumental in the success of that movie with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. The Sean Levy movie, you think that happens? Percentages?
50-50 maybe. It's hard to say.
I would agree. Toss up, because he's just so hot right now as a commodity that they could actually let him make a movie.
I think if they have a few flops, though, they're gonna have a lot of this stuff's gonna get cut. So I mean,
hey, what about the Rey New Jedi Order movie with Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy at the helm? Think that one happens?
I think that's something that Kathleen Kennedy really wants to happen. I think that will have a lot to do with if she stays there or not. I think if she retires, or she's not going to get fired. If she retires, I don't think it will happen. I think if she stays, she's going to do whatever she can to get that out the door, though.
So Kathy Kennedy's contract was up in October, and we're now in November, and she could have an auto renew in there for like a year, or she could have signed for another 3 years. We don't quite know yet, but if she stays on another 3 years, we could get the Rey New Jedi Order movie. But I'm going to come back to that because I have a thought about how that might tie into the Simon Kinberg trilogy. But let's go on and move on to the James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi. You think that happens?
I don't think so, no.
Me neither. He flopped hard on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and lost Disney and Lucasfilm $200 million. Yeah, you can't put all the blame on James Mangold, but he was the director. And, giving him another huge budget to do a Star Wars movie doesn't seem like it's in the cards. So I would give that a 10% chance of happening. Dave Filoni's Mando crossover movie possibly tied into Heir to the Empire. What odds do you give of Filoni's Heir to the
I'd say
Empire
a little
movie?
better than most. I think because some of this stuff, I think, it involves transition and leadership, and I
You
think,
think that'll be his Ahsoka movie tying into
yeah,
Thrawn?
I feel like his stuff has a better chance of getting made, just because
Okay,
I
as long
don't.
as he's there, I agree with
No.
that. 60%.
I'd say so. Yeah,
Donald Glover's Lando movie.
I don't think that's gonna.
Who's excited for
that's
that
not
one?
gonna happen.
Not happening. Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron.
That's not gonna happen.
Not happening. Taika Waititi's movie.
I don't think that's gonna happen either.
Negative 20% chance of
I
happening.
think they wanted to do that after the Thor movie, but then that movie didn't really meet.
tanked.
It wasn't as bad as some of the other ones in terms of, like, it wasn't a Captain Marvel tank, but I don't think it was.
He is a huge risk with his humor and the tone of his movies. Love and
It's a little much, it's a little overused. I think I don't know if did that movie lose money. I think it may have made money. It just wasn't a lot of money.
Yeah, it critically it was panned, but it may have made a little bit of a profit. And then you got Ryan Johnson's trilogy, 0%
that's gonna
chance
happen
he's
either.
not coming back to Star Wars. And so let's go back to what I mentioned about the Rey New Jedi Order movie and tying into Simon Kinberg. So there's disputing information coming out, contradicting data around what this Simon Kinberg trilogy is. It going to be a continuation of the Star Wars Skywalker trilogy, episodes 10, 11, and 12, or is it going to be something brand new? The information coming out of different camps is conflicting, but I believe the rumors of Rey playing an Obi-Wan type character, a mentor type character in the Simon Kinberg trilogy is probably accurate. And if that's the case, we said that he's been hired and signed on the dotted line to write and produce these movies. So what that means is you could have Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy come in and actually direct one of these movies and then just not do the Rey New Jedi Order movie. So it really becomes they're meshing that into the Simon Kinberg deal. That's what I think is more likely to happen, or we just don't see Charmaine direct anything. But
What did she do again?
That's my guess.
What did she do again? I can't remember.
Nothing. She did a documentary on women's rights in Pakistan. And so just like these other people that have done TV shows that have no experience in sci-fi or Star Wars, and they're just given the keys to this content, and they put out garbage. So, that's all the movies that are in development. It doesn't even talk about some of the other ones that have been bandied about and talked about with different names being thrown around. We know that Dan Weiss and David Benioff were going to do a Star Wars trilogy, and they exited out. And so that's the latest. Simon Kinberg is signed on the dotted line. So if you enjoyed those X-Men movies, then you might enjoy this. This writer does not inspire confidence in me as a fan of the original trilogy. So I don't think this is going to get anybody on the bandwagon. What will get people on the bandwagon is change in leadership at Lucasfilm, change in leadership in how Disney runs Lucasfilm as the parent company, and going back to the basics, going back to what made Star Wars special to begin with. And you know what? Maybe making Star Wars great again. And you can't do that without cleaning house. So we wanted to cover this information. What do you think? Are you actually excited for this news that there's going to be a trilogy, whether it ties into the Skywalker saga or not? Are you not excited? Do you think this is just more propaganda being put out by Lucasfilm so that people can hold on to their jobs without actually doing anything? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. While you're doing that, smash that like button. Leave us those comments. Share with your friends. And most importantly, hit subscribe so we can continue to grow our channel. And TCB.